What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm the regular host, Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge.
My name is Alade Tayo. I'm the MD CEO Imperial Healthcare. I strongly recommend that you watch Exposé with Reverend Tony Akinyemi every Monday at 8 p.m. Nigerian time. I'm sure you'll be greatly blessed as you do so.
Hello and welcome to Exposé. I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. We have been talking about medical systems in the past couple of episodes. Last week, by the special grace of God, we were honored to have on set Dr. Abayomi Aiyesimoju, a consultant neurologist and a homeopathic doctor. And he let us into what homeopathy is all about. Actually, there were 4 things we looked at last week. First, we got to meet him. Who is Dr. Abayomi Aiyesimoju? And then we delved into what homeopathy is. And then, of course, we progressed to look at how homeopathy works. We concluded by looking at some conditions that homeopathy can work for. And of course, the conclusion is that homeopathy can be helpful, if not as a mainline treatment, at least as an adjunct to other kinds of treatments. So in every sense of the word, homeopathy works for everybody. And today we want to take off from where we left off. And don't forget what we need. It's not more medication, but more education. And the best prescription is knowledge. Like we normally say, to be informed is to be transformed. And to be uninformed is to be deformed. We are honored again to have Dr. Abayomi Aiyesimoju with us on Exposé today. I'd like to especially welcome you to this program one more time. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Because of the many questions I have for Dr. Aiyesimoju today, I want to go straight away and dive in. And the first question I want to fire is, I want you to paint a picture for us of what it looks like when a client or a patient or a partner or whatever name you call the people you work with, when a patient walks into the office of a homeopathic doctor, what is that patient to expect? What does it look like sitting in front of a homeopathic doctor to address a condition?
Thank you. The first thing that should be emphasized is that when you want to consult with a homeopath, you should be ready to spend time.
You mentioned that the last time.
Yes. And the reason is that in the practice of homeopathy, it is not just a question of having a disease label,
right,
or diagnosis. It is the case that the symptoms that anybody has are not really the disease itself.
Okay.
They are the manifestations of the healing forces working in the body, trying to overcome one challenge or the other.
I see.
And so, you treat the person, not just the disease.
That is another principle of naturopathy too.
Yes, indeed. You treat the person, not just the disease.
Right.
Because the same disease level will manifest in different ways in different people, depending on the nature of the one concerned. So you have to know the person at the mental level, at the emotional level, at the social level, and you have an idea of the kind of personality that this person has. And also, when you now start dealing with the individual symptoms that he complains about, you are obliged as a homeopath to probe into the peculiarities of these symptoms in this particular person.
Right.
Without doing that, you will not be practicing homeopathy. What you will find is that the homeopath is a partner with you in the management of your health. What you'll find is that the homeopath evinces empathy for whoever is sitting in front of him. And in fact, the entire process of listening to anything that the patient wants to say, which is not the usual case in ordinary
conventional medical practice.
And listening empathically goes a long way.
That could be therapeutic
in
too.
the healing process. Because one has had experiences of people who come into the office morose, as if the end of the world has come.
Right.
And by the time you've finished, you haven't even given any medicine.
Right.
And they go out the door. Whoever was waiting for them there will say, "What did they do for you in there?" That is the power of engaging.
Right.
And then, because of the nature of homeopathy, after the homeopath has listened to you and observed these various things I'm talking about you, about the peculiarity of your condition, then you will find out it is now time for him to consult the books, either on computer or physical books, because there are repertories where all these possible manifestations of disease are documented, and what each kind of manifestation points to. And the idea is that ideally, looking at all the remedies that feature, that come up, perhaps you can arrive at the one that the patient needs at this particular point in time.
Okay.
And you may even want to confirm whether that is correct or not. And now I'm going to, from the repertory, you can go to the material medical, looking more closely at that remedy and see whether it really matches what is happening in the client or the patient. So roughly, that is what you should expect. You don't expect really for a thorough consultation in homeopathy, especially in complex cases, to last less than 1 hour.
I see.
Because it is based on information.
Right.
There's so much information that you can get that is pertinent to what you do or do not do in homeopathy.
Thank you so much, sir. No wonder when I visited you, you kept writing and writing and writing and writing. I was wondering, is he a judge? He's supposed to be a doctor. The experience we've had with conventional medical doctors is next, any fever, appetite, bowel movement, any headache? No? See you, thank you. Take your prescription, go and fill it. Next, but the day I saw you, you were so, it was as if I was the only person you were waiting for that whole day. And I said, wait a minute. I said, this is one patient doctor that I have met. Thank you so much, sir. Now, a friend of mine that I referred to you recently, he told me that when you gave him some homeopathic remedies, that you instructed that it is not to be swallowed with water, supposed to put it in the mouth, and so on and so forth. Are there definite instructions and guidelines on how to use homeopathic remedies apart from swallowing capsules and tablets that we're all familiar with?
Definitely. This is because the remedies used in homeopathy, they are really working with the energy essence that is in the original substance from which they were produced. That makes them very delicate and can be affected by any other thing that can interfere with that energy essence.
Right.
That's why you let them work without any interference. That's why you don't take them with water.
Okay.
If you've just eaten, you have to wait some 30 minutes.
Okay.
If you've just brushed your teeth or you've just drunk anything, you have to leave this allowance of 30 minutes on either side of your ingestion of the remedy. And the remedy will dissolve in the mouth, or you can chew it to make it dissolve.
Okay.
And you let it remain in the mouth for some time before swallowing. That is because it begins to work already in the mouth through the interface provided by the membrane of the mouth, serving as a bridge to the blood.
Okay.
So that's another thing. And then because it is working with the energy essence of the original substance, you also have to protect the remedy from any strong sources of electromagnetic waves.
Like telephone.
Your telephone or your computer, don't take it too close to them.
Right.
You also make sure you don't expose your remedy to the direct rays of the sun.
Okay.
Too much. You make sure that when you open the envelope or bottle in which the remedy is given to you, make sure there are no strong smells around. It's not when you just dabbed yourself with cologne, or you just sprayed your room with insecticide, or air freshener, or you are at the petrol station, the petrol is smelling and you are taking your remedy at the same time. All those things are likely to interfere with the work of the remedy. And generally speaking, things like coffee and chamomile are also not advisable for anybody taking homeopathic remedies because they're known to interfere with it. And then, of course, the homeopath will tell you what to expect. Okay. What to expect, because you may experience dramatic improvement.
Right.
And you know what he will tell you if that happens? If that happens, stop the remedy. Because the healing forces have kicked in so strongly.
Right.
You don't need to continue to flog.
Right.
Let them continue and bring about healing. If you experience an initial aggravation, it is also good news. It means that it is a correct remedy, but maybe the potency is too high, and that has to be adjusted.
Okay.
In order for the cure to continue. That is what to expect. That is what the homeopath will tell you. And then, of course, he will tell you to observe healthy lifestyle and watch out for any changes in yourself, which you can report to him when next you see.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, sir. In my study, I try to read up before you came so that
information.
I will not be an ignoramus in conducting this interview. And I mentioned the principle of potentiation the other time, or dynamization, and the principle of similarity. There's another one I remember, which is the principle of the single remedy.
Yes.
You'd like to say something about that?
Yes. The principle of the single remedy is central to what you call classical homeopathy. That was what Samuel Hahnemann actually advocated. That as much as possible, try and use that remedy that fits and suits the total picture in the client or patient at that particular time. Okay. The picture may change, in which case the remedy may also change. Right. But it's not always in particular times.
Okay.
That you are able to keep to that.
That's very strict. All right. Yes. So from what you have said now, it appears to me that there are different types of homeopathic practices.
Yeah, that is true.
Right.
Because you have those who, as much as possible, practice classical homeopathy.
Okay.
you also have those who practice complex homeopathy, who've done research and have experience in how you can combine different remedies in different potencies in such a way that the remedies complement themselves in their working. And they have a system whereby they use such complex combination of remedies in homeopathy to effect whatever improvement or think about whatever the result is they want. That's another thing. And then you also have what we call isopathy, in which case you can use the substance that is known to be causing the disease, like say pollen, for example. Okay. You can use that to make a remedy, or the fluff from cats.
Right.
Easier to make those who are allergic to cats.
Right.
And then so many other things, even the body tissues can be used to prepare appropriate homeopathic remedies. And then you have the homotoxicology, which really is a way of using homeopathy to read the body of toxins.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Let me ask this question. What kinds of people tend to use homeopathic services, generally speaking? Because in this part of the world where we live, in Nigeria in particular, in West Africa, homeopathy is not as popular as it is in other climes. I know that in the UK, for example, homeopathy is well grounded, and other parts of Europe, probably North America. But in Nigeria, probably some people are hearing homeopathy for the first time. So what are what kinds of people, because I heard some things, I hope you can confirm it or rule it out, that in the UK, even the royal family
absolutely
uses homeopathy.
Prince Charles is an advocate
of
homeopathy, and even more so in Germany, are people very much into homeopathy. You've spoken a lot about information and knowledge. When people here in Nigeria come to know more about homeopathy, you find that more and more of them would rather favor homeopathy. Because homeopathy is used by people who want, first of all, a natural means of treatment. They want means that don't have side effects. They want means that are health oriented rather than disease oriented. Anybody whose interest is along those lines is likely to want to use homeopathy. And many people also would like to have their doctors really listening to them and having a listening ear to symptoms which are strange.
Right.
And which, if you told somebody who is not experienced in homeopathy, it doesn't make any sense. It just tell you it's in your head. The person may feel that in his stomach, he can feel as if an animal is moving there. If you told that to me as an allopathic doctor, the next thing I'm thinking of is psychiatrist. But these are documented things that also have remedies that match their picture and work effectively.
Thank you so very much, sir. Incidentally, I was in a university in Osun State the other day, and there was a public lecture that I attended, and a professor from UCH, University College Hospital, University of Ibadan, was the speaker. And incidentally, he is also a consultant neurologist. And what he was saying, essentially regarding what you just said, is that listening to your patient and letting them say everything that needs to be said is already more than 50% of what you need for your diagnosis.
Absolutely.
When he said that, I said, wait a minute, this is coming from a conventional doctor.
Absolutely. From two perspectives. If you don't listen to your patient, you are depriving yourself of a basis to even come to an accurate diagnosis.
Right.
And then, if you don't do that also, you leave the patient unsatisfied. He or she has not able to express himself. Doesn't even know whether you understand what is going on,
Right.
because of this lack of communication by way of what he or she wants to say.
Right.
So it is so important, as I said before, that people should leave your consulting room already transformed.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll take a short break, and then when we are back, I will ask one or two more questions before we round up for today.
Okay.
Don't go away. We'll be back shortly.
I believe you've been having a terrific time with me on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. We have great resources that will bless your life available to you on healthy living and many other life subjects. We have various platforms where you can obtain materials for your blessing. You can obtain some of our work, our books, particularly on Amazon.com. How to Regain and Retain Your Health is a book title that I highly recommend. It's available in digital format, Kindle edition, as well as in printed version. We also have juices and smoothies for healing, health, and pleasure. You can also find these items at another website, familabooks.com, F-A-M-I-L-A books.com. And for those of you who are in Nigeria, you can reach us at the Shepherd Store, 18 Shogunle Street, off Mobolaji Bankantoni Way, behind HFS Place, to get our materials. We have over 600 recorded audio CDs, DVDs, VCDs, and MP3s on various subjects. All these things that I teach on Exposé are already available in their complete format. How to reverse hypertension naturally, how to reverse diabetes naturally, how to reverse arthritis naturally, and many other wonderful titles. I encourage you to visit this website, Amazon.com, familabooks.com, or CSS bookstores in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, and you will be blessed reading those materials and sharing them with your friends and family. Thank you once again. God bless you.
Welcome back. This is Exposé, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church, and I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. We are dealing with medical systems. We want to give information on the various medical systems that are out there so that you can be well informed and know your options. We have allopathic medicine, which is the conventional medicine, or what many people call orthodox medicine. When you see MDs, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, physiotherapists, medical lab scientists, they all work within that system of allopathic medicine. Most of our hospitals, if not all, in Nigeria in particular, and for the most part in West Africa, are all built around the principles of allopathy. But we also have other systems. We have osteopathic medicine, we have naturopathic medicine, we have chiropractic medicine, we have homeopathic medicine, we even have traditional Chinese medicine, and of course, African traditional medicine, ATM, not your automatic teller machine. I mean African traditional medicine, ATM. All of these modalities exist. And if you look at Asia, for example, particularly China, Japan, India, they have been able to integrate concepts, principles, protocols from allopathic medicine, which we call Western medicine, alongside with their own traditional medicine. So we have Ayurveda, we have TCM, Oriental medicine, and what they have done is a fusion of what Western medicine brings to the table and what they have traditionally known to work for them. And that has given them a very solid basis to practice a kind of medicine that has better outcomes, less invasive, and very useful to their people, to the grassroots. In Africa, however, we have more or less been told that our own traditional remedies are archaic and quackery, and so what we did was to throw the baby and the bathwater all the way out the window. And right now we're beginning to see that everywhere in the world, God has given people systems and remedies that exist in their environment. And of course, there's nothing wrong in borrowing from other cultures and other systems. That's what we're talking about, integrative medicine. We're honored to have in the house with us today Dr. Abayomi Aiyesimoju, a consultant, neurologist, and a homeopathic practitioner, and he's been answering questions on homeopathic medicine in particular. Now, right now, I want to ask maybe 2 or 3 questions before we go. And the first question I want to ask is this. We know that homeopathic medicine, like I said earlier, is not as popular in this part of the world as it is in other climes. Now, generally speaking, globally, how popular is homeopathic medicine?
Globally speaking, it is indeed very popular. You find that in a place like Britain, well over 15% of the entire population.
15% of the population in the UK?
You use homeopathy.
I see.
In Germany, some 27%.
27% in Germany.
In France, some 40%.
Even higher in France.
And leading the pack is India.
India.
Where you have some 60% of people using homeopathy and hundreds of homeopathic hospitals.
I see.
Nigeria is lagging behind in that respect, I would say. Although the figures are that if you don't take homeopathy per se, you think about the complementary alternative medicine as a group.
Right.
The surveys that have been done show that some roughly 85% of Nigerians use one complementary alternative medicine
or the other.
One in one form.
85%.
Irrespective of what they do
with
the orthodox medicine.
Right.
And sometimes they don't even tell their doctors. So it's a popular thing. Homeopathy per se, known as such, is very popular in those countries that I've mentioned. And America too, maybe not just homeopathy alone. Incidentally, do you know the first medical association in America was homeopathic?
I learned so before
the magic bullet of penicillin came.
Exactly. And the Rockefeller Foundation came on board.
That was the first association of medicine.
Right.
Who knows that, generally speaking, now? People don't know it.
Yeah.
So that was, homeopathy has been with us for quite some time and has been well accepted in many places.
I'll ask 3 more questions if you permit.
Okay.
One is, as a practitioner, what exactly are you doing to make it more popular in Nigeria and probably this region in Africa?
Well, I must say I haven't been very aggressive in this connection. In those days, I used to write in the papers about homeopathy. But nowadays, it's simply a question of word of mouth. Of those who experience it and who mention it to
their friends, their family.
To their friends, yes. Especially as I'm also going to semi-retirement.
You have to pass the baton before you retire. 2 more very pressing questions.
Yes.
One is, can homeopathy be useful in preventive medicine?
Definitely. If you take a broad view of what we call preventive medicine. In homeopathy, for example, we have what we call the constitutional remedy for the individual. That medicine which suits your constitution. It is something which you don't even have to be sick to take, because it continues to boost your defenses. And it is something which, with the slightest sign of an illness setting in, you may also wish to take. The other way in which you can say that homeopathy serves as preventive medicine is that when you use homeopathic remedies, you're actually boosting the forces of the body's healing abilities. And that in itself must have some preventive effect, one way or the other. You don't have the side effects of pharmaceutical agents that will now even weaken your body's defenses. So in that connection, it is preventive. And then there are very specific ways in which you can use homeopathy for prevention. I mentioned the use of preparations for pollen to prevent pollen allergy, right? The use of preparations for the dander of cats to prevent cat allergy. And there have even been research in which you prepare substances from the tissue, from the heart of dogs, and the liver of dogs, and give it to people. You find it decreases the rate at which they come down with respiratory tract infection.
That's glandular remedies, is it?
In this case, yes, because you're using those two glands.
Okay.
In this case, yeah. The glandular remedies, that's another field whereby you can prepare remedies from the different glands, which if you give to individuals will help those glands strengthen.
Right.
Those of you. And there is a long list, as long as you're of glands from which remedies have been prepared, which can be used on an individual basis to strengthen one organ or the other in the person concerned. So that way, yes, homeopathy can also serve as preventive medicine.
Good. That's good to know. I will ask one more question relating to homeopathy, which will be hopefully my last question.
Okay.
And then I will ask a few questions regarding your practice. Okay. Right. So, regarding homeopathy, would you say what scientific evidence are available to show that homeopathy really works?
Yes.
And if a rider to that is, can you share one or two anecdotes regarding people who have come to your clinic, for example, and used homeopathic remedies and a miracle took place, so to speak? Right.
Okay. Let's start with the first one. Is there evidence that homeopathy works? Many people who say that it doesn't work, they say it's just placebo.
Right.
But homeopathy is also effective in animals.
I see.
So how can you
So a veterinary medicine too.
Yes, how can you talk about placebo in
Animals that don't have a kind of
yes,
subjective.
yes. Even homeopathy can work in plants as something else to let people know that it's not just
Placebo.
imagination. Then, of course, homeopathy has been subjected to scientific tests, just like any different forms of medicine have been. And I'll just say this. There's been what you call a meta-analysis, which means that people get research done. Right. Several researches pulled together, testing the effectiveness of homeopathy, and compare that with the effectiveness of allopathic medicine. Right. And look at the two together. What percentage of the studies done on remedies in homeopathy were found to be effective? 41%.
Okay.
What is the figure when you look at the allopathic? 44%.
Okay.
How much difference is there?
Very marginal.
What percentage was found in homeopathy to be non-effective? 5%.
Right.
You want to know what was found in allopathic medicine? 7%.
So 1-1.
So the rest, the 51% and the 49% in what was left, was inconclusive.
Okay.
In both types.
Okay.
I think that's the kind of research that I like to cite.
Right.
Because it has pulled together so much
Studies.
before coming to arrive at a conclusion. Yes. And then you asked me about things one has experienced in the clinic. I'll tell you, For example, I was about to travel, and the child of my driver was ill, practically prostrate. I examined the child. I was a bit worried. Maybe something had gone wrong with his brain. And I already wrote a referral letter. Look, I'm traveling. I won't be able to look at you. But please take this letter to the hospital. But meanwhile, I said, now, let's see what we can do before I travel. I'm still here. They just want to do this. Honestly, in the jiffy, that boy got up. I said, I'm pulling the other skin. What's going on here? But there was no need to go to
the hospital after all.
To go to the hospital for people who had migraines or all sorts of headaches all their lives. And there's basic principles. Let's take a look at this.
Right.
Say, okay, conclusion, take this. And I said, that's it.
So even migraines.
Even migraine.
I see.
It's not only here, but I travel quite a bit.
Right.
I remember a young lady, daughter of an acquaintance, she had been of the headaches, right from a little age. And I said, okay, I want to take this survey. By the time we asked,
we thank God for that. Glory be to Jesus. Now, let's come to your practice. First of all, again, we want you to give us your address in case people want to visit your clinic. How do they get a hold of you? And then we will need your email address, your telephone contact, any other useful information that people can make use of.
Thank you. Right now, strictly speaking, we operate on appointment basis.
Okay.
At the clinic. And you book your appointment with the clinic manager, who is on 080-230-5470. 080-230-5470. We have an email, limitlesshealth@yahoo.com. Limitless, it's one word.
Right.
And then limitless health, all written as one word.
Right.
At yahoo.com. Physically, we are located at 89 Adenijos Avenue, Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, right next to the Lagoon Clinic there. Those are the ways in which you can contact us.
All right. So when people contact you, then they can be scheduled for an appointment.
Oh, yes.
And they can come in.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you like to talk about hydrotherapy, which you also practice incidentally?
Yes. Incidentally, you remember when we were discussing, I spoke about the fact that in many of the conditions that are wrong with us,
Right.
toxicity plays a big role.
Right.
And that even homeopathy helps in trying to rid your body of toxins. In addition, at the clinic, we actually do hydrotherapy, whereby we clean out what the colon may have been retaining, who knows, for years. And we do this on a number of occasions. And the result has been so gratifying that I'm so happy that I started that method of treatment on my own in Nigeria without knowing where it was being done.
Okay.
The effects are so amazing when you experience what it is to rid your body of toxins. So we use that to complement homeopathic treatment in the conditions that we treat.
Right. My first experience of colonic irrigation was in the US several years ago, and I was wondering what is What is this? But at your place, I also noticed that they do, towards the tail end of the irrigation, colonic irrigation, they do coffee enema.
Yes.
Along with it. Why is that?
Yeah, we do coffee enema, retention coffee enema along with it. It's all part of the effort to boost the shedding of toxins.
Okay.
Because coffee is known to stimulate the liver.
Right.
In its function of excreting toxins.
Right.
And you know, whatever you put in the rectum, through the veins, going from the rectum and the intestine in general, it all heads for the liver. Right. So you really impact the liver with the coffee. And coffee is going to have that ability to stimulate the liver and let it shed toxins through the body.
Thank you so much. This is how far we can go. I will only remark that, there was a particular guy I sent to you for colonic irrigation, and he was so afraid. In fact, his wife told him, no, you're not going to do this, or you're not going to do this. So I told him, I said, take your wife along, let her be an observer, and see what is coming out of your system. Maybe she too will want to do it. He came back to me to say, thank you so much for guiding me to do this. He felt so good in himself after that experience. Yeah, so we want to say thank you to Dr. Aiyesimoju for availing us the opportunity of interviewing him regarding his practice and homeopathy in general. And thank you also for being with us this evening. This has been Exposé, and I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education. And the best prescription is knowledge. God bless you. Have a wonderful evening. See you same time next week. And if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, please press the subscribe button right now, and also press the notification bell. And if you are watching us on Facebook, just like us on Facebook. If you are watching us on Instagram, just follow us on Instagram. And whenever we come live, you will be notified by your device so you don't miss any episode. You can also watch previous episodes. The part 1 of today's presentation is already in our archive. You can go to our playlist, and there you can watch on YouTube the first part or many other previous episodes for your learning and education. God bless you, and thank you for staying with us. We look forward to seeing you same time, same place next Monday by the special grace of God. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful evening.
I am Dr. Abayomi Aiyesimoju, a neurologist and a homeopath. I would encourage you all to watch Exposé with Dr. Akinyemi on Mondays at 8 p.m. You will find it very informative, and you will take away from it a lot of knowledge which you can use for the improvement of your health.